We are going to do about an hour of yin together this morning, yeah? And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pop a link at the bottom of this class, so if you want some music to go with the class, it's there. I'll make the playlist a little bit longer than the class as well, so if you want to pause at any point and stay in any of these shapes longer, there'll be music for long enough, yeah? Because I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I get sick of my own music really quickly and I'm just dying for a new playlist, so I'll make you one, there'll be a link, you can use it. If you hate it, that's okay too, yeah? So, let's begin. Just make sure you have something comfy to like sit on or do your practice. If you don't have a mat, it's not a big deal. Grab a towel, like a blanket, or even put a blanket over your mat. That's super nice. And get yourself some things that you can prop yourself up with. A bolster, rolled up towel, a book, whatever you can find around the home to kind of like resembles these things that we have, just so you can make yourself as comfortably as possible. As comfortable as possible, sounds better English. And once you've done that, let's begin. Come to seat, wiggle your toes, wiggle your bum into the ground. And I know for a lot of us, simply sitting on the ground is very tricky, so if you need to, you can bend up your knees, yeah? And if you need to double up your mat or even fold up something like a towel or a blanket, just to get a little bit of height for your bum, that can be quite nice, yeah? And what the lovely Abby is doing in the corner, which is a good move, is to reach around to the back of your mat and roll it in towards yourself. Like so. Kind of like that. Yeah, and then you can stick your bum on top of it. It gives you just a little bit of extra height, just a centimeter or two. Pop yourself up on top of that, and it just helps take some of the load out of your lower back. Does that feel better? Yeah. Yeah? Okay, sweet. All right, and our first shape is a seated forward fold. So let's start with potentially your tight leg, bend your left knee out to the side. Yeah, pop your foot to the inside of your leg, and sit up tall for a moment so you can feel the rounding out of your lower back just reduce. And if it's going from this to this, well, that's an improvement. If you can get a little taller, even better. And lengthen up through your spine. If you've got a bolster of sorts, you can pop that out in front of you. If you are quite tight to the back of your legs, my go-to move is to stick the bottom of the bolster in, bend it in towards yourself so it kind of kicks back in towards you. And then you can lean on it, right? And you wiggle yourself around. Find something that works, and it doesn't have to look like this. We need to let go of the idea that you're trying to make this look a certain way. As long as you can feel a stretch into the back of your right hamstring, or your left hamstring, depending on which leg you've decided to put out. As long as you can feel a hamstring stretch, then like perfect, yeah? Doesn't mean though, I'm just going to set a timer just so I don't leave you here forever. Because I sometimes do that. Unintentionally. What was I going to say? That's right. Just because this is a hamstring stretch doesn't mean you only feel it in your hamstrings. Yeah, so you may feel it through your lower back, middle back, upper back. You may, as you fold forward, feel it in like the tops of your shoulders or up into your neck. Makes sense because this is a stretch for the entire back line of your body. Yeah. So don't panic if it feels weird. Take a few rounds of breath, see if you can make yourself feel more comfortable so you can be comfortably uncomfortable, if that's possible, yeah? And I was having a chat before teaching this morning downstairs, and we were discussing just how a lot of yoga isn't that peaceful and not that relaxing. I think that is a misconception. This isn't necessarily meant to be relaxing, yeah? So if you come into it and you're like, oh, yuck. Perfectly acceptable, you're not doing it wrong, your body's not wrong, that's just how it is, yeah? The relaxing bit is when you come out of the practice and everything feels stretched out, feels like you've got a bit more space. That is perhaps when you feel relaxed, yeah? So don't put pressure on yourself for this to be easy or to be relaxing, just let it be whatever it is. And let's see if we can breathe. Yeah. You don't have to breathe in any specific way, allow it to just naturally come and go. But be aware that if you are holding your breath, that you may have overdone it a little bit. Yeah. I'm just going to stay here just for about another 3 minutes. If your gaze is wandering around, just blink your eyes a couple times, allow the gaze to close down. See if you can shrug your shoulders and either hang your head or allow it to rest on something. I find having my head hanging space, I find deeply stressful. So if you want to pop your block underneath your forehead or create like a little mountain of them. As long as it feels stable, like if it feels like it's precarious and it's gonna like tip out, that might be working against you. Yeah. Don't be too judgmental with yourself. Unfortunately, this practice isn't designed to be entertaining. So you get to sit with stillness. Yeah. And if your mind is absolutely begging for something to do, see if you can just count your breaths. So as you inhale, count 1. Exhale out completely. Inhale, that's 2. Exhale completely. And count all the way up to 10. Once you get to 10, you go back to 1. Chances are your mind is going to wander off before you get to 10. Yeah? So when you catch yourself in thought, you bring yourself back to counting. Time and time again, and that's what makes this practice meditative. Now we just have another 3 rounds of breath here, so count them out. Try not to rush. Stay for all the inhale. The full length of your exhale. 1 more like that. And then you come on out, so use your arms, press yourself up. We'll move our bolster to the right hand side, just so it's there when you need it. Unhook your little robe so you have something nice and comfy to lie on. And we'll come down to lie flat, so right leg stays extended, left knee stays bent. Come all the way on down. And we turn this into a twist. So when you come down to lie flat, make sure the entire length of your spine is nice and long, drops into your mat. Maybe even flatten out your lower back, so pick up your hips, point your tailbone towards the front of the room, and then place your hips back down. Yeah, just so you're not in a back bend. Start to draw your left knee in towards your chest. And I like to wrap my arms around my shin. Give it a little rock from side to side first. And the reason why we do that is just to help release the psoas first, so that big, strong muscle that runs across the front of your hip, we just release that. Yeah, some movement is super useful to do that. Then take your knee all the way across your body over towards the right. Now personally, I like to pop my knee onto bolster. I find that really supportive and lovely. Helps relax that psoas like we were talking about a moment ago. So your arms stretch out wide, like you're trying to make a T shape. And it doesn't really matter, like, you can either place both of your shoulders down to the ground, stretch the arms out wide and look towards your left thumb. That's going to stretch out one portion of your spine. If you prefer to keep the bolster out of the way, maybe the knee comes down to the ground, maybe it doesn't, but if you have the knee drop down and the left shoulder pop up, that's going to stretch out into a different section of your spine. So you may like to just have a moment, maybe like 30 seconds, a couple rounds of breath, just to suss out where is the tightest spot in your spine. Find a nice uncomfortable spot, and then you choose to stay. I'm just gonna hop up and start a timer. Yeah. Notice when you find spots and you're like, oh, yeah. And maybe just like settle yourself in there, and if you needed added support, like the bolster or a block, do it. I'm not here for a bad time. Give ourselves just a little while. Usually takes at least about 2.5 to 3 minutes for the muscles that wrap around the bones to start relaxing, so we can get into our fascia. That kind of lining and structure system to keep everything where it needs to be in our body. I think I said this in an earlier class. If we didn't have fascia, we'd end up with like our organs and all our muscles just like kind of hanging out in our legs. It's like a little bag compartment system of our body just to keep everything where it needs to be. Yeah. Look, it's handy. And just like we did in the first shape, if the mind needs something to do, if it's getting kind of stuck and snagged on something, which it pretty much always does, see if you can bring it into this moment just by counting your breath. Counting to 10, coming back to 1, and then starting again. Always just coming back to the same place, counting as you go. And don't give yourself a hard time if you don't get to 10. I very rarely get to 10. You just start over and over again. Just give yourself another 3 rounds of breath. Make sure you savor all of the third exhale, so completely empty out the lungs. Often we leave our exhales incomplete. See if you can press all the air back out. Yeah. And then on your inhale, press into your arms, you can roll yourself back. Yeah. Place the left foot back down onto the ground and just take a little rock. Yeah. Up to sit. And we'll do one more stretch on this side before we come back and do the other side. Okay. I'm a big fan of this one. However, if you have knee stuff, please, if your knees are telling you something really specific, just do less. Yeah? So, begins with your left knee. Take a little rock to the right. Place your left foot just to the outside of your hips. You draw it back on itself. Press into the outside, the top of your foot. Yeah. Cool. For some of us, this feels horrendous. This is where you'll stay. You can even take a block or your bolster and prop yourself up, and you sit with and you work with stretching out the top of your left foot and you get a little stretch across the front of your legs here. Yeah? Option number 2 for more. Your moveset block. You grab a bolster or your pillow or whatever, stick that behind you. It can be nice. Alright, lovely. Pick up your right foot, place it down to the ground. So your right knee pops up towards the ceiling. Now ground into the top of your left foot, anchor into your right foot. You get to roll yourself back. So you do a half Hero's pose. Yeah. To your arms stretched out wide. If you want to add in more props, there are no heroes in yin yoga. You can add more in, right? And it can feel really nice to stretch out your arms here. You get this gentle pull across the front of your chest. If you're more of a gummy bear and you're doing this and you're like, Nikki, what are we doing here? Make your way back up. You can move your bolster out of the way. Tuck your bum underneath you so it feels like you can put your lower back flat down to the mat. If it feels like there's heaps of arching, just pick yourself up, tilt your hips forward, place yourself back down. You might come down onto your elbows. Okay, that feels reasonably interesting in my body. I can feel a stretch across the front of my left hip. You can feel something across the front of my left foot. Yeah. If it feels like hell, you don't need to do it. Yeah. And as always in yoga, like these shapes are on a continuum. If you want more, you can have more. You can reach your arms up and over your head, and you can take your right knee out to the side. Yeah. Once you find that sweet spot, just sigh, allow yourself to drop down towards the ground. And in your yin practice, it's pretty much the exact opposite of climbing. You're going with gravity, right? You're not fighting it. You're not trying to get up. You're trying to go with it, right? So you use the weight of your body, the weight of your bones. You don't use your muscles. You allow them to relax, and you just melt down towards the ground. And how are you two doing? Do you guys need any assistance? Yeah, you two look good? Alright. I didn't say this at the start of class, but I have Fabs and Abby with me today. It's always nice to see how this shows up in other people's bodies, because I know how it feels for me. I don't know how it feels for you. And depending on how we move in this lifetime and how our bodies are actually put together will really change how this looks. So from person to person, these shapes look really different. It's not that we're trying to put ourselves into a cookie cutter shape. It's to find a shape where you can feel an interesting stretch. And we don't just simply hop into the pose and then hop straight out. We allow ourselves to stay. Stay in the discomfort, you stay with what is. Let's see. I'll just be here just for like another 2 or so minutes. One of the things that this practice has taught me is how to be comfortable when you're uncomfortable. Even though the sensations might build and feel kind of weird and awkward, can you still allow yourself to breathe deeply and fully? Can you be completely unfazed by distracting things around you? So sounds of drills or drop saws, people talking outside, traffic. Can you be completely unbothered by these things? For a period of time, I used to practice yoga at home and I lived next to a ambulance depot. And I lived at that point where they were allowed to turn the sirens on, so we always had sirens going around our apartment, and I'd meditate and I'd do my practice constantly with sirens. And initially it used to make my eye twitch, it used to really annoy me, kind of distracting. And then over time, completely unfazed. Can you be aware of what your mind is clinging to and what annoys it or bothers it? And can you challenge yourself by not really caring? Yeah, 3 more rounds of breath to enjoy it. Can you allow your hips to get heavier? Can you let your shoulders and your head really drop into the ground? Final deep breath in. Full breath back out. And take your time to come out of this one. So switch your core on just to keep yourself nice and safe. So popping yourself up onto your elbows. Keep on lifting up. And start by releasing the right leg out first, and maybe point the right knee up towards the ceiling. Little roll to the right to release the left leg. Oh, yeah. Allow the blood flow to come back into your left foot. So you might like to just come up to sit. Wiggle out your toes. Yeah, or if you want to bend your knees in towards yourself and hug them. That can feel nice too. Just find something that's comfortable. Yeah. Not comfortably uncomfortable, just straight up comfortable. Yeah. Little wiggle. Oh, that was quite a journey on the first side. Okay, now as you sit here, just extend your legs out long and notice the 2 legs feel different now. Yes? Yeah. That's the beauty of it. You can actually already see the difference in between the 2 legs. Let's do the other side. If you want to roll up the back of your mat again, like you did on the first side, go for it. Yeah. We try and do these as symmetrically as possible. No one's completely symmetrical. Sorry to break it to you. So do your best to make it symmetrical, but if you need extra propping on one side, please don't punish the less bendy side. Yeah. And you do the other one. So this time, right knee bends, take it out to the side. Sit up tall. Take a deep breath in, shrug your shoulders, find your friends. Set them up. start more soft in these shapes, and then as we progress through time, you can add more in, yeah? So, when you're ready, start to walk your way forwards. And just be in conversation with your body as you go. Like, you can feel where is tight, yeah? If as you fold forwards, it feels really sus behind your knee, what you can do is, my favorite thing to do is just to grab like a balled up pair of socks and just pop it underneath my knee. That can feel really nice. If it feels weird for you, Abby, you can grab my drink bottle and like stick that underneath there. That could be nice. Oh, you have actual socks. Yes, put them in there. Yeah. Yeah, feels good. Yeah. Like, let's not mess around with these. If they tell you you don't like something, no, do it. Yeah? Nothing good can come from it. Breathe deep, wiggle around, and if your foot falls out to the side, that's fine, as long as your knee is pointing in the same direction. And thrilled, there's no need to like flex your foot here and drag it in towards yourself. That is a more yang approach. If you love it, go for it. But you don't have to, yeah? There's no real right or wrong here, it's just whatever suits you. You can take a more intense approach, you can take a less intense approach, it just depends on what you need today. If your mind is stuck, just gently bring it back, allow yourself to come back to counting. I rarely get to 10, but that's not the point, it doesn't really matter. Just over halfway. If you want to readjust yourself and go in a little deeper, go for it. Swap blocks, props, whatever you need. Could you perhaps be a little bit more passive? So you might notice there's like this tensing in the shoulders or clenching of hands and feet. Yeah, give them a little wiggle. Remind them that there's no work to be done. You don't need to hold yourself up. And we'll just take 3 more rounds of breath. then use your hands. Peel yourself back up. So use the strength of your arms. Lift yourself up. Throw your blocks over to the left-hand side. Yeah. Release yourself from any props that you have underneath your bum. You don't need them right now. Right knee points up to the ceiling. Lay yourself on down, and you might even just like to scoot your bum underneath and even shift your hips a little bit more towards the right. Yeah. So you're ever so slightly skewed to the right hand side of your mat. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Give it a little shift from side to side. Yeah. Release your psoas. So your psoas is part of your hip flexors. Yeah. Just release it. Okay, and then we twist over to the left this time. So you choose how you'd like to approach this. You can do half of the pose one way, and the other half the other way. So you can start with both shoulder blades pressing down into the ground, arms stretched out wide and looking over towards your right thumb. If you'd prefer the right knee to hang out in space or to drop down to the ground, and the right shoulder blade to pop up so you can get a slightly different twist through the spine, go for it. Yeah. Let's see if we can release this idea of getting it right. Yeah, there is no right, there is no wrong. I found that concept very hard to learn. As a Westerner, my mind's like, no, black and white. Unfortunately, yoga is a sea of grey. Yeah. Use your next couple breaths just to fine tune, and then allow yourself to be still. Can you remember to keep bringing your mind back and count? Think of bringing your mind back into the present moment as mental fitness, yeah? Yeah. You're halfway there, so if you need to make any little adjustments so you can sit comfortably, please do. get just that little bit heavier. Yeah. Okay, we got 3 more rounds of breath. Make sure you stay for all of them. When you come out in your own time, press into the back of the arms, roll back onto the back. Press down into your right foot. Eke your way back on up. All right. Oh, I always feel so good after a twist. Yeah. All right. Next shape. It takes a little bit of faffing around. I think there's a lot of work in this one. Take a little rock to the left. Keep your right knee bent and just bring it behind you. So you're not sitting on your foot is to the outside of your right hip. Yeah. Do your best to flatten into the top of your foot, and once again, if you have a sock and that feels no bueno, you can put your sock underneath there in front of it, on the top of your ankle. Yeah. Okay. Either stay like this, you can add a booster seat, sit up tall, stay like that. You can even like lean back a little bit. That'll give you something. Or you can add more in. You can take your bolster, put it behind you, but just make sure that your bum is firmly on the ground. Like if it's hanging up in space, I don't know, that takes a lot of work, and that's not what we're going for. So thumbs on the ground, you might even scoot underneath you. Your bolster. Arms come out wide. If the bolster's not useful, hey, it sounds like a broken record, but if it's not useful, then don't do it. Yeah. Take your time to come in. You also have the option of bending up the left knee. Yeah. Sole foot comes down to the ground. Yeah, I know. It's a big one. It's not meant to be easy. It's not necessarily meant to be peaceful and fun. If it is peaceful, well, that's just another bonus. Option to drop the left knee out to the side if that feels nice. Just keep allowing yourself to count. Simple as that. when the mind wanders and gets stuck on things and starts to go into stories, or you start to rehash the past or go through lists and all sorts of interesting things to your mind. Notice thinking and you just come back. Believe it or not, but noticing that you're thinking is success when it comes to meditation. So don't think you're failing if the mind wanders and you notice. That's a pro. When you catch yourself in thought is actually a success. You're aware that you're thinking, not just mindlessly unaware thinking. Alright, believe it or not, that's been 5 minutes. Feels uncomfortable, you're probably very much aware. If you're loving it, probably felt like nothing. But you come back on out. Little activation in your core. Press yourself up on your hands. Release the left leg first, then roll to the left to release the right leg. How do your legs feel? Yeah? Feel back in balance now? Yeah? Okay. Perfect. A moment just to rebound. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some space. When you're ready, if you want to pop yourself up on a roll again, if you find you get stuck in your lower back, you can do that again. Fold up something and sit on it. You choose. And we'll take another hip stretch. Show. When you're ready. Give you some time. Cool, all right. Bend your left knee out. And follow with your right. Cool. So see if you can walk your feet out nice and wide so the knees are kind of over your feet. Okay? So often when we sit cross-legged, we do this. Yeah? Try using a little different, so nudge your feet forward and walk them out wide. And see if you can get the pinky toe edges of your feet, reasonably clean. So you get like the knife edge of your foot, the pinky toe edge, press it into the ground. Yeah, and then flex your toes in towards each other like you want to point them at each other. Yeah, awesome. Deep breath in, sit tall, relax your shoulders. Depending on the day, sometimes I feel like I really feel just sitting like this. If you want more, your hands walk forwards. Maybe you bring blocks and props with you, towels and books, whatever it is that you have. And you fold forwards. Yeah. Let's make this simple. Not easy. I'll let it be simple. Can I make this simple? Your awareness, see if you can notice which side of the body is tighter than the other. Do you feel the shape asymmetrically? Do you feel it on one side more than the other one? Yeah. You can just use it as a point of awareness, just so you get to know your body a little bit better. Which hip is tighter than the other? Which part of your spine is bendier than others? Just notice these little things. I find it makes our life a little easier when you become a little bit more well acquainted with these weird kind of bony meat sacks that we live in. At least that's how I think of my body, a bony meat sack. Sounds disgusting. And when the mind gets stuck, you bring it back. Here just for a little while longer. And just ask if the outsides of your hips, like your glutes, you can just gently relax. Ask them to get heavier. Give them permission to do less. Yeah. Spend so much time training our bodies to be strong and to be stable and to do all sorts of movements. We're very good at teaching ourselves to do more, but can you teach yourself also to work into the back end and do less? And can you be comfortable doing that? Okay, 3 more rounds of breath. Shoulders soft, head is super heavy. Unroot your jaw. Untangle your arms and lift yourself back up. Yeah. You may not have done the same leg as me, so just notice which one's closer than the other one. Note it. Hands come back, untangle your legs, windscreen wiper them. Yeah. Wiggle, scrunch your toes. Yeah. Oh, that sounds satisfying. I love when you start like scrunching your toes and they're like, oh crap. Oh, I love it. Yes, stuff. Alright, let's do the other side. Oh, yeah, I got some. Alright, do it the other way. So right knee bends, left knee bends. My favorite thing to crack is my spine. When you twist. Ah, you get it. Sometimes, yeah. Same, but just do it the other way. Sit tall. Shrug shoulders. And there is no rush. You've got 5 minutes. Wade your way into the shape. Does this side feel different to the other side? Yeah, just worth noting. If this side is tighter, you might like to stay here for a little extra time. Not as a punishment for the tight side, but just as a way for it to catch up to the slightly more open side. Do you ever find you ask yourself these questions like, does this feel different? You're like, I don't know. Yeah, it's okay not to know. But just be aware that if you can't feel the difference, just give yourself some time. Yeah? Don't panic when you can't answer the question. Over time you become a little bit less distracted, become a little bit more finely in tune, and then you might notice. Okay, you have 2 more minutes if you want to come a little deeper. Now might be the time. More rounds of breath. Allow yourself to completely let go. And use your hands to make your way back on up. Just reversing your way out of the shape. Just let the blood rush back into your feet. So good. Yeah, hop off your little roll if you're on one. And we come into the final pose before Shavasana. I'm a big fan of this one. I often just do it like as a standalone pose at the end of the day if I've been standing a lot or I'm anxious or really anything. Yeah. If I've eaten a large meal, if I'm not sleepy, whatever. Grab your bolster or a cushion. Just be aware that like these yoga bolsters, they're quite dense, like they're quite supportive. So if you don't have one, maybe just like a couple towels rolled up to make something that's reasonably like dense, or just like a book or something. I would recommend doing this up against the wall. Obviously I'm not against a wall, but you are at home, if you're at home. You're at home. So go to the wall, use your wall, and what we're gonna do is lie down next to the wall. Put your bolster up against it. And you're gonna lift yourself up, so if you do wanna go against the wall, you can. If you wanna do it not on the wall, then don't. Yeah? So have your bum on the bolster to the point where it's like your lower back is also on it, so you feel nice and supported. Yeah. You might need to be a little bit higher up on the bolster than you think, and you just pick up your legs. Yeah. If you have tight hammies, that's cool, bend your knees. Not a big deal. And you send your legs up. If it feels like a lot of work, go against the wall. You can lean your legs on the wall like that. Super nice. And you got 5 minutes. Your legs don't even need to go straight up, they can split out to the sides as well if you want. Yeah, that'll get a little bit into the inside. Your legs have a bit of a play. You can even bend up your knees and put them against the wall like that. Put up, out wide, whatever works. This is just super nice for your nervous system. It just invites any blood that's been pooling in your legs, tips it upside down, sends it back in towards the torso, so it's like a little automatic reset for your body. Calms down your nervous system. So this side of the nervous system, your parasympathetic, it's like the little sleepy channel. Slower moving waters is often referred to as rest and digest. Helps with sleep, digestion, reduces anxiety, helps you sleep. Can help with problem solving or creativity, just helps relax you really. If you are going to find a favorite spot at home to do this, I might recommend over time wear socks just so you don't get like a little smudges on your wall. Yeah. Might feel a little weird as the blood drains out of your feet. You can do this for as long as you like. So I'm just going to leave you here for about 5 minutes, another 2 minutes or so. But if you want to spend longer here, like you could stay for 10, stay for 15 minutes if you want to. As long as it feels good. If you get pins and needles though, make your way back on down. In any practice, if you want to sub out Shavasana for this instead, that can also be a really nice option. It's like, hey, you're at home, you can do whatever the hell you want. If you're a kind of class and do that, I wouldn't mind either. If you'd like to stay here a while longer, you absolutely can. If you're ready to come out, start to bend your knees. Yeah, draw them in towards you first, like your leg. And send your feet back down towards the ground so you can stand into them. Yeah. Shift your bolster even further away from you. So if you're up against the wall, turn yourself sideways. Wiggle yourself further down so your bolster's underneath your knees. And set yourself up for your final resting pose, Shavasana. Yeah. Allow yourself to lie heavy. I'm just gonna sit up, you guys can lie down. And just notice how you feel compared to the start of class. And this isn't all inside your head. Like, there is a physical chemical reaction that changes throughout your practice. And I've written some of them down here because I just think it's super interesting. You've created this lovely little chemical cocktail in your body. So you get a little extra dopamine, which is like your reward chemical. You get it when you like complete a task or you do self-care activities. You often get it like from eating. It's a good one. You get serotonin, which is a mood stabilizer. That often comes from like getting some sunlight, meditation, going outside in nature, just physically moving your body. You get endorphins, which is like a painkiller. You often get that from exercise, meditation, or you get it from laughing. And the last one I've got here is oxytocin, which is like that love hormone. You get it from skin contact. So when you draw your knees in towards yourself and you have skin contact with yourself, that counts, yeah? Makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. So allow yourself to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you like. Enjoy this chemical cocktail that you created. Maybe set a timer so you don't fall asleep when you stay for as long as time permits. And I will leave you here. Yeah. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.